Last supplementary question will be asked by Honorable Maimane.
Thank you and good afternoon, Mr. President. All of us as South Africans observed your meeting in Washington and can fully appreciate the fact that we are now in the realm where domestic policy impacts foreign policy. A general goes off to Iran and makes some significant statements on foreign policy. That general has had a global implication on the US relation with those who it does not deem its allies, of which Iran is one. I want to ask, Mr. President, if you could bring the nation into confidence as to, in the light of all of these tariffs and our low GDP growth from today, whether does South Africa in fact have military cooperations with Iran? No sanction was taken against the general who has spoken. And ultimately, are you of the view that our close relations with Iran have had any impact on our tariff impositions by the US and what your government's plan to respond to that issue? Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President.
We do not have any military operations with Iran. Iran is one of the members of the BRICS. In fact, we held a BRICS summit yesterday online, and Iran was present, as were other countries like China, India, Ethiopia, Egypt, Brazil, and all others. So we are together members of BRICS, and in dealing with Iran, we deal with them also as a sovereign country that is dealing with the various issues and challenges as it is doing, like ourselves. And the general went to Iran on a predetermined visit, which was planned almost 2 years ago. And I had a long discussion with him, and we both agreed that the timing could have been managed differently. And he conceded that because of what is happening globally. And that in itself demonstrated to me, as he himself conceded, that the timing could have been different, and that what he said in Iran really was an expression of the continued relations that have existed between our two countries. And in the end, the relations we have no impact whatsoever, and should have no impact with our relations with other countries. And we respect and deeply respect the relations that other countries have with whoever in the world. And similarly, we say the same should obtain with us. There was a time when we were lambasted for even having any relationship with Russia, as it was involved in a war with Iran. And now of late, Honorable Maimane, nearly everyone comes to us and says, could you kindly impart a message to President Putin? And these are largely countries that had decided to shun Russia, to boycott Russia, and never want to have any discussions with them. And we've often said, do continue engaging with Russia. I remember very well when I went to the White House and met President Biden. And I said, do not disengage from talking to Russia, even as there is a conflict. And he said, can you please pass on a message to Russia, because you have historically had a relationship with Russia, because he said himself, we know that Russia was one of the only countries that supported your struggle as you were involved in a gigantic struggle against apartheid. I said, yes, they did support us, and we've continued to engage with them. And our engagement with them does not result in the abandonment of our own principles. We have principles, and they deal with us with great respect, with great honor, knowing very well that we are a sovereign state and we will not abandon our principles whatsoever. And now, many of them are then calling us and saying, can you please pass on this message to President Putin about the Ukrainian war so that we can find settlement? And this is done by nearly all of them. And these are countries that criticized South Africa very harshly when the Ukraine-Russia war started. Now, of late, they become converts. They now come to us and ask us to pass on messages and to see how best we can work for peace. Now, the position we've always had is that we, in pursuing peaceful outcomes, will talk to all parties. We will talk to those who are belligerents in any conflict, and we will adhere to our principles, and our principles are to make peace, to make sure that there is peace in the world and all conflicts are resolved peacefully. So our standing as a country has been greatly enhanced. Much as others say our standing has been dashed, it has actually been greatly enhanced as many countries want to talk to us and see how best we can get involved in settling a variety of conflicts around the world. So the Iranian case is a case in point, and we've been very clear in our dealings that they are principled, and we will always adhere to our own principles and values and never abandon those. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.